Hey there, it's Nicola Milan and this is Singer's Secret TV, where you'll get professional advice for improving your singing and making it as a singer. And this is video 3 of my 4-part songwriting tutorial series. In video 1, I showed you how to create a map of your video so that you could structure it and make the songwriting process so much easier. In video 2, I showed you how to come up with ideas for your song, even if you have zero inspiration. And in this video, we are going to deal with chords. So I'm going to show you how you can create a plethora of different songs using just 4 chords. So if you're thinking to yourself, 4 chords is not enough, well, there is a fantastic video, which I will link to in the description below, by this Australian comedic group called The Access of Awesome. And what they've done is they've shown you how all these different pop songs use the same 4-chord sequence. And it's really, really funny. You should go check that out afterwards. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to do our song in the key of G, because that's a good vocal key for me, and because I'm going to demonstrate for you. And our first chord is going to be our root chord, and this is really where we come home to. So we're going to start and finish the song with this chord. Now, because we're in the key of G, it's going to sound like this. This is a major song, so it's kind of happy. This chord structure that I'm going to show you will work with minor songs. You just have to alter the chords slightly. You just have to drop the third of the chord. But anyway, so we're going to use the first, third and the fifth of this scale, of the G major scale, to create our G major triad chord. And the notes are G, B and D. So that's our first chord. This is home. You're going to spend a lot of time on this chord. In fact, you can spend like the first 4 to 8 bars of your entire song on this chord. I'll demonstrate for you. I'm just going to use the blues rhythm because it's quite easy to demonstrate on blues. Okay, and I'm just going to stay home on our root chord for ages to show you. So I just spent ages there, right? Now your ear is probably getting a little bit bored, so it wants a change. And the easiest thing to do is to just go up to the 4th of that scale. So we count up from G, 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, takes us to C, and we've got C, E, and G. This is our next chord. So if you add the 2 together, it's going to sound like this. Moving up to the 4th. Going back to home. Now, because I'm playing, I've just gone into kind of like a basic blues chord structure now. You can kind of hear that the ear is ready for the 3rd chord. So in the 3rd chord, all we have to do is go up to the 5th of the scale. So we count up 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that takes us to D. So we've got D, F sharp, and A. And it's going to sound like this. I'm just going to try and run through this quickly. So back at home. So I'm going to move up quickly. Back to home. To 5th. Back to 4th. Back to home. And then that's just the 5th to turn around. So, I mean, I just showed you like a really quick blues kind of chord structure. But you can essentially move from 1st to 4th to 5th, back to 1st, back to 4th, back to 5th, and jumble those 3 chords up as much as you want, and already you will cover so much material, like a lot of blues repertoire, but also pop repertoire as well, just using those 3 chords. So I'm going to show you how those chords work in, like a folky kind of a song, just to give you an example. I'm just going to make something up, so I'm just going to have to scat. That's the fourth. Back to first. That's the fifth. Back to the first. Back to the fourth. To the fifth. Back to the fourth. Okay, so same chords, different kind of sound, heaps of different song options. Okay, now moving on. If we're going to be using the map that I gave you in video 1 of this series, you can spend your verses and your choruses using just those 3 chords. But when it comes to your bridge, you're going to want to try something a little bit different. You're going to want a bit of a different sound, because otherwise the song will be a little bit boring. So now we're going to introduce our last chord, our 4th chord, and that is the 6th of the scale, and it's going to be a minor chord. So it's going to sound like this. So we count up from G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we come to E. And we're going to make this a minor chord. So it sounds sad. So E, G, B, that's our chord, okay? So now I'm going to show you, I'm going to kind of start playing this song from like halfway through, and then I'm going to show you how the minor chord kind of adds into things. I'll use the poppy kind of folky song as an example. So root chord, back to the 4th chord, back to the root. That's the 5th. That's the root. 4th. That's the 5th. Okay, now we want our difference. Here's the E chord. Back to the root. Back to the E. Back to the 4th chord, to the 5th, and then we've just got our bridge. Yes, okay. So see how it kind of works? All I'm using is 4 chords. But having that extra E chord in there really gives the song the lift and kind of takes it into a new depth that you wouldn't have if you only had 3 chords. And all you really need to do with these chords, like, they actually all go together. So you don't have to use them in the order that I've just used them in. I'm just making this stuff up. You can jumble them up as much as you want, and they all pretty much will work nicely together. Now you can use this kind of system in any key as well. So the 1st, the 4th, the 5th, and then the minor 6th of whichever key you decide to choose to do your song in, it will still work. All you need to do is create a rhythm and then just jumble these chords up, and you'll come up with a nice song. So what I'm going to do for you is I will put the chords that I've used in the description below if you would like to copy them, and then just have fun applying this to your map that I gave you in the first video, coming up with the ideas. So hopefully you came up with some rhythm or some kind of, maybe a lyric or something that you wanted to use, or a riff that you like the sound of in the second video. Chuck them over these chords, and then you are halfway there to having a really good song. Now in the next songwriting tutorial, which is the last one of this series, I'm going to talk about lyrics. Yep, I'm going to show you how to create words for your song, even if you're not good with languages and writing and all of that kind of stuff. I'll show you how to make it really, really simple. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe, because I do put up new videos all the time and you don't want to miss out. And also, if you would like a heap more free advice on how to write songs, performing, singing, and stagecraft, head on over to my website, singerssecret.com, and hop onto my email list, because I do put extra singing tips and secrets into my emails that I do not share anywhere else, and you don't want to miss out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nicola Milan, and I'll talk to you again soon.